We welcome you inside the Linfield Sports Network studio. I'm Kevin Nelson, joined as always on these Tuesday mornings by the head coach of the Linfield Wildcats, Joseph Smith. And Coach, good performance by your team. You got the victory 27-12 at Chapman. Let's kind of get into some of the positives about that game. Obviously the defense. They came out and arguably could have had a shutout, if not for a short field on one possession and a big play that set them up inside the red zone after that.
Absolutely. I thought coming into the season that our defense had the chance to be very formidable, and they were on Saturday. I think, up front that they were able to create some real problems with their speed, and they're quite experienced. Front seven's got a lot of snaps underneath their belt. So I thought they played great. Our secondaries come around, and as they continue to get the experience, I think they'll even be better and better, and they still have some room to improve. Obviously the long run we gave up was an interesting situation. We almost defended the play too well and created a gap inside. So there's room for improvement there, but they played well.
Special teams is another thing that I thought stood out. Willie Warren was named Northwest Conference Special Teams Student Athlete of the Week. And then Keegan Weiss, the performance from him, just a freshman in the return game. He set the Cats up with some great field position. Talk about those two players. Obviously, Warren making a step from last year where he struggled quite a bit to having a great outing in his first showing of 2017.
Right. I thought, Mr. Warren really did better than he finished the season last year. That obviously is a season that, as far as we're concerned, didn't happen for him, and he's doing a much better job of not pressing and just focusing on kicking easy and staying within himself. And like any sort of golf game or free throw stroke, it's all about that. Most of it's mental, and he did a great job. Those were pressure kicks, both of them that we needed. He did a great job kicking off, so very pleased with that. I thought Ramos was tremendous punting for a freshman. I thought Asa did an awesome job snapping. Our snaps on punts were great, and snaps and holds were good. So we played very well on special teams, minus obviously the dropped punt. But Mr. Weiss, he's good. He's going to be one of our few players with a little bit of experience, being a transfer. He's has played in some college games at receiver where most of our other receivers haven't. So he's got a little bit of experience under his belt, and I thought that showed. He made some nice plays.
The rushing attack for your offense, really it starts up front. They'll always say that. But the offensive line, moving people out of the way. Your backs, however many we played with the other night, they weren't getting touched until 3, 4, 5 yards down the field, it seemed like, on a number of plays. Talk about not only the offensive line and their performance, but the kind of committee of a system you've got going at running back.
I think it is a true committee at running back. I like the group of backs, but you're right, it starts up front, and I thought our O-line did well. They're not playing still, I think, at the level that they're capable of, and that's an area of great emphasis for us, because that needs to be a strength of our team. Our experience on offense, it comes back up front and at tight end, so we need those guys to not just hold their own, but to be wins and to win their matchups. And then we're going to have a certain amount of miscues with the running backs and receivers just because they're young, and the quarterbacks. But up front, we need to be a little bit better. Our pad level's got to get better. That's a big emphasis. And as they do that, then they have a chance to be a very formidable offensive line and push some guys around. And then you start to see that surge, and running backs love that. So, I think it'll be a lot harder to run this week. But I was pleased with what we did.
You're working a lot more with the wide receivers yourself personally this season than in maybe the past. J.D. Laswell, a couple of touchdown snags on just 2 catches. How do you plan to get the ball to those playmakers more, even if is that even an option, or are you guys kind of looking at that type of passing game?
I think there's a lot of ways to attack a defense, and our system's been more designed to try to take what a defense gives you and not force it if we can. I think at times we were able to force the issue with quarterbacks of years past, and I don't know that's we're going to try to run the ball and run play actions off of that and take our shots off of that, and like most teams want to do. So, we'll see. I think it's a work in progress. Our receiving core shows signs of doing really nice things, and then we do some really bad things. So as we get more consistent, I think you'll see a more consistent passing game. We'll probably be some peaks and valleys until we were able to execute at a higher level.
Right. Of course, the quarterback position is a topic of conversation. Who's going to be the quarterback to start this week? We saw Troy Fowler with the start. He threw 2 touchdown passes, but also 2 picks. Aiden Wilder came in. The offense moved right down the field. That drive ends in a pick. Kind of talk about both of their performances and maybe the progress moving forward with those two.
Sure. I thought both played well in the game. Troy made some big-time throws and made some bad throws, but I liked the things he did well and thought he bounced back nicely from some of the adversity that he was feeling. And I thought Aiden came in and gave us a nice spark, nice change of pace, and did what he does well. And again, decision making for quarterbacks is ultimately what they're judged by, because that's what we live and die with. So that just has to be better, and we'll keep working at it. I think as they get more experienced, you'll see better production there. Neither of them have played a meaningful snap since probably the Les Schwab Bowl for Aiden, and several years for Troy. So there was a lot of guys playing for the very first time on Saturday, about half our team. So that was a pretty young team we fielded.
A lot of butterflies. You've played Mary Hardin-Baylor enough to kind of know tendencies, style of play. This Mary Hardin-Baylor team looks very fast. Like in years past, it's always been that case. But what makes the crew so good year in and year out, especially now coming off a national title?
Well, I think number one is they just have a tremendous amount of talent. They look fast because they are fast. So they're going to look even faster in person. So they don't have slow people in that college, I guess. So it's very fast and very physical, and they just have tremendous athleticism. And I think the last few Mary Hardin-Baylor teams have been more disciplined, and they've executed at a higher level, and they've had less self-destructive plays, and that's what's hurt them in the past. And if they minimize that, they're incredibly lethal, like any team. But they have the talent, as much talent or more than probably anybody in the country.
Should be a game filled with lots of big plays and good defenses. That's Saturday at 1:30 at the Cat Dome. We're going to be there early to pick up one of these. If you're a student, get a Cat Zone Crew t-shirt for the first 350 students. That's Coach Joseph Smith. I'm Kevin Nelson from the Linfield Sports Network studio.